Hello Dutch, hello again, this is Captain Nav. This flight will be today Cathay 5 on the Boeing 744 from Taipei. You can see the flag there on the left hand side to Hong Kong, back to base. So without further ado, the sun is slowly setting. Yeah, it's beautiful. We'll get cracking, try to catch up with the sun, but we'll probably land in Hong Kong during the evening, so it'll be probably a little bit dark. We'll set the RS mode sectors to nav, the emergency lights to armed, and basically, yeah, that'll be it for the moment. RS are aligning, park and brake set, backs off, good stuff. We'll start the APU already. Quickly jump in the FMC. It's a 747-400, it's all correct. Enter the RS position, yeah, that's the next step. So we are in RCTP in Taipei, and we'll take GPS position. The route, we'll send the request. I don't think it's saved in the 747, so I'll go back here. RCTP VHHH02. The request is now sent. Send and send. The flight is Cathay 5. It's a real-world flight. Did a bit of research, and we'll load the uplink. The route is Mike Kilo Golf to Alpha 1 Elato, and then Victor 522 to Magog and Victor 591 to Abbey. That's all good. We can execute. Perfinite, according to the flight plan, cost index is 100. Reserves are 8.4. So like always, you can use the command to recall the flight plan via the bot, the night bot. It's just the exclamation mark flight plan. So that's all good. We stay here. Then we go to departure arrival, we go runway 05 left, and it's the agent 1 Mike. So now the route 1 page, first page is complete, and we also have everything in the second page with no discontinuity, so we can execute. And then the departure is heading until Taipei 050. That's correct, with 210 knots. Then it's to Novas, Decoy, Summer, 4,000 feet or above. That's correct. Charlie, Candy, Agent, and then to Makong. That's all correct. So we are good. I'll just set the MCP. Runway heading 053. I'll go in the other direction. 053. And the initial altitude is 3000, but there's no ATC, so I'll set all the way to 360. Good stuff. And we'll continue with the FMC. Yeah, we've got some winds, which is good. And then we'll load also the descent forecast. And load. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Zopovitz. Transition level in Hong Kong, we'll check later on. Here it's in Taipei. It's 11,000, so we'll set 11,000. We'll do a route copy to route 2, and then we'll come back to route 1. And we're pretty much sorted out. Excellent. Whoop. Then we'll come up on the overhead panel, take the APU on the electrical bus. Down here it's all good. Here there's nothing really. Now that we have the APU, we can put the packs, although the packs will have to come off at some point for the start. And it's gonna be a tank to engine, so the I think the fuel crossfeed can go off already, and it's gonna be night time, so we're gonna put the logo light. Happy days. And next down here we're gonna put this one to RTO. We already fueled up, I think. Yeah, so we'll put the seatbelt sign on, and we are pretty much ready to go. Change the view 1228. And for the instruments, we'll display the TCAS, we'll display the airport, and we'll go into hectopascals. Use the B function, it's giving us 1012. I'll believe it, I'll take that for granted. Set the flight directors. I'll preset some sort of random V2 already. It's probably gonna be in that region. Yeah, maybe like this. Very good. Fuel pressure engine. Yeah, that's correct. Is it 4 and 1? Is it correct? Yeah, it's because the APU is pumping in 3. No, yeah, in 2 and 3. Yeah. I think. 0 fuel weight 241.7 with a fuel of 23.5 gives us a takeoff weight of 265.2, and we were thinking of 264.1. So fair enough. Thrust, it's a fairly long runway. We are light, so I'll go also a takeoff 2. It's giving me an EPR, it's a Rolls-Royce engine, so I don't really like the Rolls-Royce engines with the EPR. It doesn't really kind of tell me what the power setting is too well, I find. I mean, what's 1 point whatever doesn't really tell me much. Prefer to have like something as based on 100, you know, rather than EPR, but hey, that's just me. 148, LNAV, VNAV, heading 053 and 36,000 feet all the way up. Let's pressurize the hydraulics and set the fuel pumps on. So tank to engine. We'll put the beacon to both, and the packs 2 and 3 come off. And the transponder 2000 with TRA.
Captain, we are ready for pushback.
I am ready as well. Let's rock and roll. Display the VWALs. So this is a kind of older display. which is alright.
Departure check completed. Flight has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
Parking brake release time 1-2.
All engines clear. Start that wheel.
Beautiful. Let's go to Hong Kong. So it's done number 4. So pull the switch there, the start switch, and then pretty much bring the fuel to run. It would be a good idea to display the lower engine display there. Also on the Rolls-Royce engine you've got N3, N2 and N1 on top of the EGT. So there's an extra number if you want to look at. Yeah, it's alright. Let's forget about it. Right, number 4 is starting okay. There was a click. I think it's alright. We'll start number 3. Pull the start switch. And the fuel control switch to run. I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna do a little stream test, see what the stream is like. Yeah, it's almost there. It's quite slow to start.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set. Yeah, oh, that's it. It was very slow to start. And then 2 and 1.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass being removed.
Very slow to start. It's much slower than the
Right is clear.
G engines. Wow. number 2 is good. And number 1. Number 1 is good as well. Right here. Go on the overhead. APU comes off. The number 4 hydraulic demand pump comes to auto. The packs go back to number 2 and number 3 to normal. Then we'll do a quick recall. There's nothing there. And I think we're good. We'll display the, we'll blank the engine display. And we'll go for flap 20. Check the flight controls. And all the ground crew is clear. We're good to go. Ready for taxi flow.
Okay. Ready.
Park and brake released. The flaps are quite slow as well to extend. Yeah, the PMDG 747 is good. I would highly recommend it.
Approaching 05 left.
That is confirmed.
On runway 05 left.
Here we are. Right, Toga, thrust ref. Check.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Gear coming up.
The one thing is that it flies beautifully, handles very well. Right, so we'll fly the departure manually a little bit. The engines are reduced the power to climb power. And at 3,000 feet, the flight director is gonna ask to reduce the rate of climb to start accelerating and retract the
Up
flaps.
and locked.
Yeah, the sounds are really good as well. Yeah, it's true. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10 selected.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5 selected.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1 selected.
Thank you very much for the follow. Flaps up.
Flaps coming up.
After takeoff, checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear.
Up and off.
Flaps.
Up.
After takeoff checklist complete.
Hello, joined by Set 4. Hello again. Yeah, no, it's a very nice aircraft. I highly recommend it. Maybe to bring a little bit more light. Set heading 240.
Selecting heading 240.
There's a couple of turns on the departure, which is nice to hand fly, and then obviously put the autopilot. It really handles very well. You kind of feel a little bit the inertia of the aircraft, because when you for example you're on this left turn, the initial turn entry feels fairly heavy, but then it kind of goes into the turn very smoothly, and it's a real pleasure. And you get the feel as well as the aircraft accelerates. It really tends to kind of pitch up, and you need to trim to kind of bring the nose down. So the controls actually feel really good. Alright. Enough playing for today. Well, at least for this part. So I wouldn't say that I'm 100% familiar with the aircraft here, but yeah, I feel generally relatively comfortable now. It's maybe the fourth or fifth flight altogether, and I really enjoy it. It's really nice. And it's Boeing, so it's a Boeing aircraft. It feels quite natural. It's really nice. I hope it's not too dark. Once we get in the cruise, maybe we'll set the lights on. But then once you put the lights on, it kind of goes a little bit orangey as well. So we'll try. You'll let me know how it goes. Okay, so if it does work, you see I totally ignore that. If it does work, let's try. Well, now I've centered it. Yeah. But that's a progress. Oh yeah, it's much... it's difficult, but I can see that it's giving me some inputs. I'm struggling a little bit. It goes to the middle at least. Right, up here we've got the lights. It's in the middle, it's not full light. So it's maybe a little bit more bearable. One to go. Oops, sorry, wrong view. And here, also it goes in the middle. That's not too bad. Thank you for that, 747 pilot. Down here there's no light switches. And on this side as well. Yeah, because if you go on the with the mouse, it goes full brightness, as here it kind of goes halfway. Here we are. 747 Cathay Pacific. There's actually a lot of 747s flying in that part of the world. Obviously a high capacity aircraft. Yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful build. Yeah, I'm maybe struggling a little bit with the mouse wheel, you know, it's OAR 787 indeed. Hello, hello. Good day to you. Yeah, it's a beautiful build. So that's it, 36,000 feet, just flying along. The flight plan was showing an hour and 22 minutes to Hong Kong. The alternate is Guangzhou, which is not very far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. 5% of contingency fuel. So the 5% is calculated on the trip fuel. So 5% of about 13.4 tons, which is about roughly 700 kilos. The contingency can be, hey, thank you very much for the follow. The alert does not come through. Or maybe it will in a wee minute. No, the alert has not come through. If you want to drop a line on the chat, and I'll acknowledge. Polygon, hello, bonjour. Thank you very much for the compliment, I guess. If you enjoyed the stream, it's really good. Welcome on board this 747-400 Cathay Pacific flight from Taipei to Hong Kong. Happy days. It's a beautiful day out there. How long have I been streaming? That's a good question. The YouTube channel started kind of summer 2015, so it's gonna be almost 2 years now. Gone to streaming maybe actually like autumn 2015, so about a year and a half. I slowly I moved house about a year ago now, and it's kind of helped a little bit with the setup. And once I moved house, I quickly also upgraded the internet connection, so it also helps for the streaming. Became familiar a little bit with OBS, which also helps for streaming. So slow improvement on the streaming kind of side of things, but yeah, it's still not 100% right, but I'm getting there slowly. The thing is that there's always more or less also people in the house when I stream, so sometimes they use the internet, so that could also be a little bit using some of the bandwidth. Although, I mean, what they do is probably download and I'm kind of uploading, so but I've got about 20 of down speed and 5 of up speed, so it's a good enough connection. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. Excellent. Yeah, this stage I think it's pretty stable. So far so good. Wow. So that's the end of the departure transition. Agent 1 Mike. We are already in the cruise and we're gonna get to Mike Kilo Golf. It's a fairly long departure. Well, good luck with the streaming. OAR 787. The cost index is 100. It's here on the Perth init page. Cost index 100. So it's relatively fast. Decimal 84 with headwind at the moment. It's not doing too bad. And the descent speed will be, I know we don't have an arrival yet, so it's not calculated the descent speed. But the climb speed was about 340 something knots, so it was fairly fast. And the optimum is 375, flying at 36, it's fine. It's all virtual fuel, it doesn't matter really. Ankit 007, hello, good evening. Andre Falcon, hello. Polygon, I hope you're all good today. Guys, I appreciate your joining me. And light aircraft flying is actually good fun. It's real flying. This is flying these big birds is more like being an operator almost, because it's more about like managing the systems and managing the operation than really like hand flying the aircraft. Yeah, you do hand fly the aircraft for takeoff and for landing, but the rest of the time then it's all managed by the aircraft itself. So then you're some sort of operator or manager, so to speak. But it's okay. I mean, you're still flying. Obviously, you still go from A to B. But it's not the same as, you see what I mean about like light aircraft flying. Like light aircraft flying, you know, you're always in control, and yeah, it's kind of seat of the pants, you know, or pants of, no, yeah, seat of the pants. Flying IFR, I have to say, is really good, because I remember when I was kind of still learning to fly, or kind of building up the light aircraft experience. I once flew, I think at the time, I already had the instrument rating, so I could go and fly IFR. And I remember like flying from my hometown airport to an airport maybe, I don't know, 100 miles away or something, and flying IFR. And flying IFR is very nice, because when you fly IFR, VFR, when you fly VFR, you're a little bit on your own. You kind of, you know, do your own thing, and they don't really follow you on, you know, ATC doesn't really follow you very well, and it's all a little bit do it yourself, so to speak. But when you fly IFR, you know, you're under like you're under radar control, and they follow you from takeoff to landing, and you in the airway. The air traffic control service is totally different. You really feel like you're being looked after. Whereas when you are like VFR, they're like, yeah, whatever, do your own thing, you know. But IFR is because of the accuracy required in the navigation and the flying, they really look after you, which is really nice. So you know, when you fly IFR, it's a different thing, and you can still fly IFR with like smaller aircraft. So yeah, but you'll come on to IFR fairly soon. So we left Taipei, which is somewhere around here, I believe, and we're gonna go to Hong Kong, which I think is here, and I think that's the Hong Kong Bay here, if I'm correct. So that's the good old map of the world. The Philippines down here. I think this is Vietnam there. I think Bangkok is here. Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore down here, Indonesia. So yeah, obviously the big mass of China here, Japan up here, South Korea, North Korea. Yeah, that's our location in the world. Okay, I was not aware of that. 747 pilot. Right, I think they want to go for a P. Let's release the passengers, poor souls. Donny 136. Yeah, just follow your dreams, I guess. There are like several ways to you know, to become a pilot. If you're lucky enough, or depending on where you are in the world, you can apply for some sort of cadet scheme. So some airlines kind of hire guys with no experience and train them from zero. Otherwise, you can do the licenses and all the training yourself. So you'd have to finance the training yourself, kind of start doing your private pilot license, and slowly then build your experience and continue with the professional license. And then once you've got all the licenses, then you can apply for a job. Obviously, it's a bit of an expensive process. you don't need to be a wizard at school. Obviously, you need some understanding of the basics on flying and be decent at maths, about physics, but you don't have to be a scientist or a wizard. I'm not really good at maths, but I've managed, so. But yeah, so there's like several routes to do it. Oh, with Virgin. I was flying Virgin on stream the other day from Melbourne to Sydney, and also from Perth to Cocos Island. So the first one was on the 737, and to Cocos was on the 320, I think. I'm from the south of France originally, yeah.